The room was silent, except for the soft rhythm of her breathing. The clock on the wall ticked past 2:47 a.m., and the night outside was drowning in rain. I thought she was asleep, until she whispered, her voice trembling through the darkness, "Stay, just until the sun comes up. Before we go further, if this moment already touched your heart, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Universe. Every bit of your support helps us spread more stories that heal hearts and inspire souls." Part 1. The Unspoken Distance. It had been years since I last stepped into that old house. The paint on the walls had faded to a dull beige, the photographs on the mantel coated in dust. And yet, as I walked through the familiar hallway, every creak of the floorboard whispered my childhood back to me. The laughter, the fights, the smell of tea in the mornings, and my mother's humming voice drifting from the kitchen. But tonight, the house was different. Quiet. Too quiet. Mom had been sick for months, lung cancer. The doctor said it was manageable, but in her eyes, I saw the truth long before the reports confirmed it. I had been away in another city for years, chasing deadlines, chasing money, chasing a version of myself I thought she'd be proud of. But I missed the moments that mattered. The birthdays, the festivals, the simple dinners where she waited until I came home, even if it was midnight. And now, I stood by her bedside, watching the woman who once felt invincible, looking smaller than ever beneath those thin white sheets. She looked peaceful, eyes closed, lips slightly parted. The oxygen tube traced along her cheek, catching the faint moonlight. I sat beside her, too afraid to wake her, too guilty to leave. I thought she was asleep, and maybe it was better that way, because I had no idea what I would even say if she opened her eyes. Years of unsaid words hung between us like ghosts. I reached for her hand. It was cold, but still, she moved her fingers slightly, as if remembering the weight of my touch, and then her lips moved. "Stay," she whispered weakly, "just until the sun comes up." Part 2, the night that stopped time. Her voice hit me like a wave. It wasn't just a request, it was a plea, gentle yet heavy, with all the words we'd never said. "I'm here, Mom," I whispered back, my throat tight. She didn't open her eyes, but a small smile touched her lips. "You always said you'd never stay still, always running, my restless boy." I laughed quietly, tears escaping before I could stop them. Guess I ran out of places to run to. Outside, the rain softened into a drizzle. The air smelled like wet earth, the scent of endings and beginnings. I sat back in the chair, my fingers still laced in hers. For hours, neither of us spoke. The only sound was the soft hum of the oxygen machine and the occasional roll of thunder far away. Then she said something I'll never forget. "You know, when you were little, you'd crawl into my bed every time it rained. You said thunder made you feel lonely." I smiled through my tears. "You remember that?" "I remember everything," she said softly. "Even the nights you cried when I couldn't afford the toys you wanted, or the way you hugged me the day your father left. I may forget faces now sometimes, but I never forgot you." Her voice cracked. I squeezed her hand gently. "Mom, you don't have to talk." "No," she interrupted weakly, "let me. You've been gone too long. I don't want silence between us tonight." So I let her speak. About the past, about regrets, about love. She told me how she watched my success from afar, the newspaper articles, the interviews, but she also told me about the nights she cried, reading my texts that said, "Sorry, I can't come this weekend. Maybe next time." Every next time became a never again. And there, in that dimly lit room, guilt clawed its way up my chest like fire. I realized something painful. You can always earn back money, but never. Lost Moments. Part 3. Memories in the Rain. At around 3:30 a.m., the power went out. The room was swallowed by darkness, except for the faint glow from a candle I found on the shelf. I lit it, and the soft flame painted her face in gold. She looked almost young again, like the woman I remembered from childhood. "Do you remember that summer?" she asked suddenly. "The one when you built that cardboard boat and tried to float it in the pond?" I laughed through the lump in my throat. "Yeah, it sank in 5 seconds. And you cried like the world ended, she said, chuckling faintly. So I sat with you by the water until the sun came up. Her eyes shimmered. Now I want the same from you. Stay with me, just until the sun comes up. I didn't know how to tell her I already planned to, that I'd stay as long as she wanted, as long as I could, but deep down, I also knew what she meant. She wasn't just asking me to stay for the night. She was asking me to stay present, to stop running, to be her son again, even for one last sunrise. Part 4, the sunrise promise. The hours dragged on slowly, beautifully. I told her stories from my city life. The chaos, the long nights, the loneliness hidden behind achievements. She listened, eyes half open, smiling like a mother who already knows everything but still loves hearing it. Around 5 a.m., the rain stopped. The sky outside began to blush with the first signs of dawn, pale orange spreading through the clouds. She whispered, "It's almost time." "Time for what?" I asked. "For you to forgive yourself." Those words broke me, because she was right. I'd carried guilt for years, buried under work, pride, and excuses. She reached for my face, her hand trembling as it touched my cheek. "You've been punishing yourself for growing up. But that's what children do. You don't owe me your life, my son. I just wanted your heart once in a while." Tears ran freely down my face. I couldn't speak. She looked toward the window, the light painting her skin. "The sun's coming up," she whispered. "Promise me something, anything. When I'm gone, don't stay in the dark too long. Live, love, stay for the people who need you. That's how you'll keep me alive." I nodded, though every part of me wanted to scream, "Don't go." But she smiled, calm, peaceful, as if she'd already seen the sunrise beyond this world. And then, just as the first beam of sunlight touched her face, she closed her eyes. Her breathing slowed, and in that final breath, she whispered one last word: "Stay." Part 5. After the sun came up, the morning was cruelly beautiful. Birds chirped, the sky was painted in gold, and there I was, sitting beside her still body, holding her hand as the candle burned out. For a long time I didn't move. I just watched the sunlight spread across her face, warm, soft, eternal. She had kept her promise. The sun came up, but I also kept mine. I stayed. The funeral was small, quiet. After everyone left, I stood by her grave, holding a single yellow flower, her favorite. The wind whispered through the trees, and for a moment I swore I heard her voice again. "Don't stay in the dark too long." That night, I walked through the empty house once more. I opened the window, letting the cool night air fill the room. And as I looked up at the stars, I whispered, "I stayed, Mom. Now I'll live, just like you wanted." If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Universe. Your one click helps us continue creating stories that bring light, healing, and humanity back into the world. Ending message. Life gives us countless chances to say I'll do it tomorrow, but sometimes tomorrow never comes. Don't wait for a perfect moment to show love, to visit, to call, to forgive, because one day all you'll have left are memories, and the question of whether you stayed long enough to see the sun come up. Cherish the people who make your world feel like home, because one sunrise they might be gone, and all that will remain is the warmth of their last stay. Story title: I thought she was asleep until she said stay, just until the sun comes up. Written for Kindness Universe genre, emotional drama, inspirational, family love tone, deeply heartfelt, cinematic, redemptive.